Well guys, it seems there was another flight booked yesterday taking some of the new Labour voters back across the channel from whence they came. Well, that was the plan anyway, but as per usual, the lefty Labour lawyers, as Priti puts it, has once again threw in some appeals at the last minute, keeping 20 of these imported Labour voters here for a bit longer at least, if not forever. Now Priti Patel is once again moaning that the system is working against her, but this excuse has gone past wearing thin with me, and I expect it's done that with many of you, especially when you consider the government is so quick to criminalise Brits for daring to live our lives in 2020. They want to lock us all in our homes but cannot protect the borders or kick people out that have no right to be here. It's amazing how they can change laws overnight to repress our freedoms, but they cannot change laws to kick illegal immigrants out of the country in the 10 months that they have been in power. My guess is they don't actually want to, like every other Tory government before them that has claimed to be lowering immigration while it always goes up. But like I said, Priti Patel was moaning about this in the Daily Mail yesterday, so we'll take a quick look at that. It headlines, Priti Patel says asylum system is broken as 20 cross-channel migrants are taken off new deportation flight to Germany after last-minute legal challenges, which is almost a daily occurrence at this point, and you would think Priti Patel, being in charge of everything with an 80-seat majority in the Houses of Parliament and the ability to pass laws by decree, would have already sorted this out. But obviously not, because she must not really want to. Priti Patel today branded Britain's asylum system broken after 20 migrants were taken off a new deportation flight to Germany. The Home Secretary sent another handful of migrants back to the European mainland but was hit by a flurry of 11th hour legal challenges. An immigration enforcement charter flight yesterday flew 3 Iranians, 2 Eritreans, an Iraqi and a Kuwaiti back to Germany after they crossed the English Channel. 2 of them sailed across the narrow sea in September. So I will at least give Priti Patel props that she tried to get these people back who arrived in September, but once again, the numbers are piss poor. Yesterday's flight also stopped in Hungary to deport 5 foreign criminals with a combined jail term of 20 years, whose crimes include robbery, Class A drug dealing, theft, and possession of a knife. But the flight was once again bogged down in legal action that saw 20 scheduled deportees removed before the plane took off. Obviously, no thanks to the Labour lefty-loving lawyers that she spoke about before, but Priti Patel, for fuck's sake, pull your finger out your arse and do something about it if you actually want to. Which I don't think you do, so just shut your mouth and fuck off. At the end of the day, you have shown over the last 10 months that you are practically incompetent when it comes to dealing with the immigration system. Give it to someone else maybe. Though in all honesty, I'm sure they will just cock it up, much the same as you did. She continued, as the issues we faced yesterday show, our asylum system is broken. That's why the new system I am introducing will be fairer and firmer. Then fucking do it already. Like, let's be real here, you have an 80-seat majority, as I keep saying, get it fucking done. What are you waiting for? It will be compassionate to those who we do not give a fuck about that, but we will stop the exploitation of the broken system by those who come here illegally, asylum shop, and make meritless claims to remain. A Home Office spokesman said the government's efforts to facilitate entirely legitimate and legal returns of people who have entered the UK for illegal routes are too often frustrated by last-minute challenges submitted hours before a scheduled flight. Or maybe you need to stop telling these people that a flight is scheduled until the last minute. At the end of the day, they have no right to be here, so they have no right to fuck all, especially not many hours of notice so they can contact these Labour lefty-loving lawyers, who, as we all know, cost us a fuckload of money when they claim legal aid for this. Maybe Priti Patel should just cut legal aid for these claims. You know, it would be the common sense thing to do. It continues, these claims are very often baseless and entirely without merit, but are given full legal consideration, leading to the removal being rescheduled. This can effectively result in the timing out of a return due to the stringent Dublin regulations. Well, you're shitting on everyone else's freedom, so why don't you tell the Dublin regulations to go fuck themselves? You seem to be doing it with every regulation this country has so far. We know she's pledged the biggest overhaul in decades. Once again, pledging it doesn't mean shit. All we hear from her is talk, no action. They're going on about the Ascension Island Processing Centre, which is just bollocks and not going to happen. We know that, and they've actually said that. She says here, though, Ms Patel said, from the expulsion of Ugandan Asians from a repressive regime to proudly resettling more Syrian refugees refugees than any other EU country, to supporting campaigners fleeing political persecution in Hong Kong. Under Conservative leadership, the United Kingdom has and always will provide sanctuary when the lights are being switched off on people's liberty. Are you actually having a fucking laugh? What about our fucking liberty, you tosspot? The Conservative government at the moment is shitting all over the British people's liberties, freedoms and their jobs, along with the economy, of course. How the fuck can you stand there talking about other people's freedoms when you're taking ours away, taking the piss out of our liberties and essentially pissing in our pocket while telling us it's raining? That has got to be the most hypocritical and nonsensical thing I have heard her say in a while. She continues, after decades of inaction by successive governments, successive Tory governments mind you, we will address the moral, legal, practical problems with this broken system, because what exists now is neither firm nor fair. No, but it's exactly what previous Tory and Labour MPs and governments actually wanted. And it would seem you kind of want the same, since you've had 10 months to change this and are still sitting there with your finger stuck firmly up your arse. It continues, the Home Secretary promised to accelerate the operational response to illegal migration. She said we will continue to hunt down the criminal gangs who traffic people into our country. Well, at the moment, I think the gang of people who are actually trafficking more people into this country happens to be the Border Fast. They are the ones who pick them up in the channel and bring them straight here. At, of course, your fucking orders. So I highly doubt you're really going to make a dent in this, let's be honest. And the rest of it just goes on about stuff that she said during her speech. We don't really need to go through that. It's not really relevant. It's stuff she's already come out with, and about 100 people have actually said before she'd even said it. Now, while obviously I do have sympathy for Priti Patel trying to get this done if she actually is, which I'm highly skeptical of, we do have to remember the lefty Labour-loving lawyers that she is talking about do regularly take the piss, and they're taking the piss at our expense. But like I've said probably 100 times in this video, she has an 80-seat majority, the Tories are in charge and ruling by decree, shitting all over our liberties, so why can't they shit on a couple of immigrants' liberties too, you know, in the interest of equality?
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires, and that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.